Yes.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
So, today we're doing the live show, Studio Rats live Q&A, and James is sunning himself in sunny Menorca. He has sent through a picture. I think it's Menorca, he said. Got a picture. James sent us a picture from the beach.
Nice.
Actually, shall I show James's picture just so we can all
Yeah, we can all wish it well.
yeah, all feel, sort of jealous of where he is. So here he is. So James sent this picture through. He wanted everyone to see what he was like on the beach.
Look at that. Beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it? He's obviously with his friends and stuff and wearing the jewelry.
Yeah.
This is sort of standard, James in Essex, when he goes out in Clacton or whatever. This is pretty much how he looks. Even around the town, he sort of walks around like this.
It's good how the sort of the curly hair on top kind of extends all the way down.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Oh, it's good, isn't it? Well, it's what do they say? Cuffs and collars. What do they call it?
Oh, the curtains match the carpet or something.
It's all that sort of stuff, isn't
it? Whatever the saying is, I don't know. He's looking very chilled though.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's having a lovely time with all his mates. Yeah, he's having a lovely time. So welcome everybody. Today we're joined by Lee.
Hello everyone.
Yeah. So it's a special privilege today. We've got someone that actually knows what they're talking about
when it comes to cheapness.
Yeah. So let's start how we always start. What have you been up to this week?
So monumentous day today, actually. I've been over to my friend's house who does all the drums for me on my albums, and we have completed drum tracking for my next album.
Awesome. So should we talk about that as well? Actually, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. That could be one of the subjects because I want to hear all about it, and you can tell everyone because there's probably loads of people that watch the show that don't know that you've got this sort of solo project that does quite well. That people
yeah. So I've been doing that and doing some gigs as usual at the weekends. We were quite busy over the bank holiday, and got some gigs coming up this coming weekend. So usual, really. All good stuff.
Any new gear?
No, actually. But we can talk about something a bit later, maybe, because it was something I mentioned to you the other day about my wallet is starting to twitch for maybe a proper amp for the studio. Maybe.
This is proper exciting stuff.
Anyway, what have you been up to then?
Well, so I bought that Bogner, the Bogner Ecstasy with 100 watt, the 101B Bogner to do some captures. That was amazing actually because I literally bought that and then did all the captures and put it up for sale and it just went like that. So there's a lovely guy over in the Czech Republic who's taking that, and he's got an amp business over there. He's an English guy that's moved over there.
Oh right.
Wife, and he's got an amp like an amp hire business. So
wow,
that's getting transported over to the Czech Republic, and he's doing that. But that is a monster sounding amp that we did that video asking is that enough gain for Lee, and I still don't think it was enough gain.
It was as I said in the video, I think with the little bit of graphic tweaking, it was monster amp.
It is in
every sense of the word. Physically it's a huge amp, isn't it?
Yeah, the build quality is ridiculous. The sound's great. So the dogs join me. Here we are. There, Diggs. And it's a fantastic sounding amp. So that's got sold, and I'm picking up a new amp tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. I'm picking up an SLO 100 tomorrow. So it's nice, the sort of conveyor belt of buying an amp, capturing it, selling it, and buying something else. So it's just like an ongoing conveyor belt. But I've always wanted an SLO because I was a massive Mark Knopfler fan,
right?
And obviously a Gary Moore fan, and all the people that Steve Lukather, all the people that used them, during the 80s and 90s.
Satriani was a Soldado user as well, wasn't he?
I think everyone was.
Yeah.
I think literally when the SLO came out, it literally just everyone wanted it because I think it was the first high gain amp that did those smooth sort of lead tones without being too harsh. You know, those sort of, you know, not like a Marshall, which has got a bit of a spike to it, like the big sort of liquid lead sort of tones. So, I'm quite excited about trying one of them.
So just to bring you back down to earth, just for a second.
Yeah.
I always remember on my pod, my original pod that I had 25 years ago, tread plate was obviously the Mesa Boogie, and then the next one round was the Soldano.
It was. What did they call it?
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember.
I mean, I've still got a couple of. Oh, have I got one? I've got one down here. No, I haven't. I've got one in my cupboard.
I'll have to maybe find an image of one and zoom in and have a look.
Yeah. So that's getting picked up tomorrow, which is nice. I found a second-hand one because obviously there's no way that I would buy a new one.
Yeah.
So that's that, and there's a new Katana Gen 3 video coming out tomorrow because that got released. We're talking about that in the news.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I don't think there's been any other. I'm looking around just in case there's been some other bits that have been sent, but I don't think so.
In case a guitar has suddenly materialised that you'd forgotten about.
yeah, absolutely. So shall we go to the comments?
Yeah.
Nabs LM8, he says, hi rats, hope all is gearing up well. It's a nice surprise seeing Mr. Lee. I hope he brought a bag of new musical gadgets with him. Cheers.
Sadly, nothing at the moment, I'm afraid, Nabs.
Lee, can you see the comments if I put them down there?
Yes, I can see them on the screen now, yeah.
You can see them now. Okay, well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, he said, good evening, Paul and Lee. Looking forward to tonight's show. It's pretty cloudy and 27 degrees in North Carolina. It's always around that sort of temperature for Daniel.
Yeah, nice. We've got blue skies here at the moment. I don't know what you've got down there in the forest.
Well, what am I? 20 miles from you, if that?
Something like that. Yeah, not far. Not far. We know what the English weather's like, though. You only have to go 5 minutes away, and it's different.
It's true. Yeah, we do get a bit of a different sort of climate in the forest as well. So that's pretty fair.
Those Ewoks everywhere.
There's loads of Ewoks. Keith, he said, good evening. I believe it's beverage o'clock tonight. I'll have a nice coconut water. No, I'll have a beer. Nice. Electric Owl Works. It's Chaz. He says, greetings from South Wales, New York, USA, where it's 16 degrees and cloudy after just getting home from 3 weeks in Europe. Chaz. Oh, nice, Chaz. Where'd you go?
Oh, right. Nice.
Very nice. Was that work or was that a holiday with the missus? Or a bit of both. Dave Orr, he said, hello to all. Sorry I missed last Q&A.
We wondered where you were.
Well, yeah, these sort of things, we almost think it's not worth doing when Dave Orr's not there.
Absolutely.
Mr. Moxie's in the house. He says, evening both, evening pet. And Jahar, he said, I wish my name was Lee. I could go brutally, mentally, respectfully, horribly. Very good.
Definitely.
Tim's in the house. Hello, gents. Hello, Tim. How's it going? And Keith, what no mankini? Well,
James.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure what he's.
It's probably at the cleaners from last time.
I mean, I think the sort of stuff he gets up to, I think it definitely needs to be cleaned. Anyway, actually, let's stop here because we've got. Brendan, thank you very much, Brendan. He says, hey, gents, do you have any specific preferred IRs? See, this is the sort of question. This is why Lee's here. Lee mentioned an own hammer, V30 4x12 was loaded into your M-Vave Tank G, but which one?
So I'm not sure I can offer you much more information than you've got there, really. The trouble is, I've had it for years. And it's one of those IRs that I've just got used to now. I use it for everything. So it's like having, that old speaker cabinet that you go to every time and just go, yeah, that's my cab, that's my sound. So I'm not even sure that Own Hammer do it anymore. I've had a few people say they've tried to search for it and they can't necessarily find it. But it was, it was a vintage 30 4x12 Own Hammer. I think the word forward was in the title. I can't think why the word forward was in the title, but
have you got it on your computer?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I've got it on my phone. I've got it everywhere. I've got it in the files on my phone, so I can maybe search for it there. But it just had that right balance of everything. You know, it doesn't matter what I use it for, whether it's clean, whether it's edge, whether it's high gain solo. It just hasn't got any nasty frequencies in it. You know, so I tend to use it for everything.
It is funny because it's once you find that IR, because when you buy an IR pack, there's just thousands and thousands of IRs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
One with 2 centimeters back, one with 3 centimeters back, 3 centimeters to the left, 3 centimeters to the right, all of that sort of stuff, and it's almost gone.
I saw a video. I think it was by Michael Nielsen. He was talking about Pete Thorne. He said, when it comes to IRs, use the Pete Thorne trick. And the Pete Thorne trick is when you buy a pack of IRs or whatever, just use whatever your preferred speaker setup, whether it's 1x12, 2x12, or 4x12, just use the first one in the pack. He said, let your ears don't immediately go auditioning the rest of them. Just let your ears get used to that first one. And he said, I guarantee after about an hour, that's it. You'll be like, oh, yeah, that's my sound. That's my sound.
I completely agree. It's one of those things that if you keep switching through them, you'll never make your mind up. And it is almost like, one sounds, your ear gets used to something and then it becomes like, natural. And then you'll switch to another one. You go, oh, that's really weird. But if that would have been the first one you loaded up, it would have been.
But it also, the other thing to bear in mind is us guitarists, we always think the next thing will sound better.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it? It doesn't matter what it is. The next one will sound better. But with IRs, don't necessarily have that point of view. If you find one that sounds good, just settle on it and use it for a couple of weeks for everything. And you'll find that over time, that's the one you gravitate to the whole time. And that's what I do with this one. So I've got copies of it saved everywhere. I've got them on my phone, my computer. They're in all my bits of gear, everything, So, but I'll try and, before the end of the show, I'll try and find the exact file name for it.
There we go. It's a shame we can't sort of grab it and then just give it out to people because it's by a different company. It's a bit of a pain.
Ethics involved with all that kind of thing.
Exactly, Phil, he says, evening from Brecklesham Bay.
Evening.
Not far down the road, is it?
No.
Jeff, greetings from Brisbane to Paul and Lee and all of the Rats viewers, and a warm holiday wishes to whoever that drummer guy is. He's having too much time off.
Big Jim Ivy, as he's known from now on.
Aaron, hello mate. He says, hi guys, hope all is well. And you,
hi Aaron, it's good here, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. Aaron, I was going to ask actually, are you going to let's go back to Aaron. Are you going to Gear Street? I spoke to Henning and I think Henning said that you were speaking to him. So
really? Nice.
That's
nice trip over to Germany for you both.
Well, Aaron now lives in New York, so
yeah.
Chris, evening everybody, evening Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Chicago Timmer, hello Lee. I wonder if you've ever used an iPad with amp sims for practicing or demo recording. This should actually be a Ask Lee questions.
Yes, I totally have for both of those things. Going to do a shameless plug now, but if you go to your favorite chosen streaming site of choice, look at my album Distant Days. All of the guitars that you hear on that album were recorded with Positive Grid software when Positive Grid software first came out, because that album that's 10 years old. That album, 2014 I released that one. All the guitars were recorded with Positive Grid. I think back in those days, it was before Positive Grid software was called Bias. So what was it called before Bias? It was called Jam first, and then it was called something else. I can't remember. But I recorded all those guitars through an iPad using the Positive Grid software. And then when Bias came out, I actually used to use Bias live for pub gigs on my phone. I had an interface that I used to plug the guitar and the iPhone into. I used to have the iPhone on a cradle on the mic stand in front of me, and I had it set up in live mode. So you could basically set up four patches and have those patches on big buttons so they were easy to press. So rather than actually having switches on the floor, I had them on my phone in front of me. And then when I was playing away, I would just press button number 1 for clean, button number 2 for edge, button number 3 for distortion, and button number 4 for lead.
Jeez, and that must have gone wrong.
No, not once.
Really?
No, it was absolutely fine.
Did it sound good?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, you probably search around for a few videos on YouTube of the band. You can probably hear it. And it was great, and I did like doing it. But the thing that put me off using it in the end is that at that time, I'm talking pre-lockdown. Most of the interface, the interface I had was the IK one.
Oh, they had
the USB, and the USB socket on it was the mini USB, which isn't really built for the road.
Yeah.
So I always used to feel a little bit kind of, this feels a bit sort of like consumer level stuff rather than pro road ready stuff. I mean, obviously you can get interfaces which are a lot more suited to the road now. So it's definitely an option. Totally.
There we go. Well, it should just be as good now as you know using an amp sim computer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because iPads are powerful now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where are we? What's next? Tim, twitching wallet.
Twitchy wallet.
Yeah.
It's jumping up and down.
Great Jerry forever. He said, "Good evening, gents. Thanks for the show and the video. Cheers, Jerry. Good to have you along."
It's not Jerry Hearn, is it? From Southampton. Great guitar hero. Gaza. Gary used to be the guitarist in something else before me.
Really?
He did, yeah.
There you go. He said, "Wait, what, Lee? Do you mean an actual amp with valves?" I know. I can't believe this. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of digital element to it. So we'll see what's going on with that in a minute.
Well, you never know. You never know.
I think I've got a couple of options for you, actually.
Okay, cool.
Got good options.
Anyway, good to see you, Gary. Haven't seen you for a while, mate. Hope you're doing all right.
Nice. Jeff, he said, "Good evening, guys. I bought the TSR 20 pack for the Tonex and the Bogner pack. Now I want a TSR 20 amp." Oh, nice one, mate. Yeah, the TSR 20 is a stonking amp. It's still well, it will be as long as Dennis continues making amps. It will be available. So it's everyone is made to order.
I was just about to say, he's not holding stock or anything, is he? It's made to order, isn't it?
Yeah. It's made to order. Yeah, I don't know what the turnaround time is. We just sent one out, or I should say, Dennis just sent one out, and I think it's about 6 weeks, something like that.
It's pretty good.
And you can basically have a custom, if you want it in a different finish or whatever. Dennis is great at that sort of stuff.
Nice.
Thomas, aloha from Maui. Oh,
nice.
I mean, it's
nice.
nice.
Dave Murray lives out there, doesn't he? Guitarist from Iron Maiden lives in.
Does he?
I think so. Well, I could be getting my islands mixed up. Somewhere exotic like that. Anyway,
it's hot and it has blue sea. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, we just come back from talking about that. We just came back from went away for a couple of days in Purbeck over towards sort of Swanage way, Studland Beach, that sort of way. It's just like the water there is like being in a Mediterranean island. It's so nice.
Yeah, I used to work down there actually years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, in Wareham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice part of the world.
Nice. Spencer, he said, "Evening, gents. So, elephant in the room, Katana Gen 3, is it worth upgrading? Have you tried the Line 6 Catalyst? It's a new Line 6 Catalyst. Is there a new one?
Yeah, there's something called the Line 6 Catalyst CX, I think it's called.
Ah, right. Yeah. Any chance of a comparison video? I think the CX. I think it's just a software upgrade or a what do you call it? Firmware, like a firmware upgrade that upgrades it, and you get a few more amps and stuff. I don't think it's a different. It's a different amp as such. No. So I've never tried the Catalyst. Have you?
No. No.
The Gen 3, is it worth it? Yes, it's brilliant. It's really good. There's a video coming out tomorrow, which I shot today. On
that pushed channel looks very interesting.
It's brilliant. Yeah, the push channel's like a Dumbly sort of thing. So you get, it's really reactive. So you can play, you can play really clean if you just lighten up your tap, or you can, it can crunch up a little bit. It's really good. It's really good. And the fact now you've got like stereo out on it, via the headphone or via USB is great. I still wish I wish the line out would be stereo, but
but stereo over USB, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, over USB. Yeah. Right, let me go down because sentimental chair pillow. Thank you, sir. He said, "Hey, Paul and Lee, it's been a while. I've been tied up with the remodel soundproof room. Just wanted to say hi and thank you for the wonderful content. I'm still lurking and watching. Cheers, fella. Thanks for watching and all that.
Nice.
And thank you very much for your kind donation. Right, I'm completely lost now. This is something that James normally does. There we go. Got it. Okay, Tim. He says, I still have my original pod and still use it.
Yeah, why not? I think there's a switch on the original kidney bean version. There was a switch on the back.
Yeah.
And it used to be either air mode or direct mode, as I remember.
Yeah.
And if you switched it to direct mode, that basically used to turn off the cab sim inside. So you could.
I think you had to hold down a couple of buttons. I think it would turn off the speaker mod. From what I remember,
yeah.
I think that was a different sort of feel, almost like a direct mode, almost like a air, like a microphone slightly away from.
Oh, that's right.
Like more ambience. From what I remember, anyway, I could be wrong.
But there are videos of, I think you've done one as well, and you put them through modern IRs, and it sounds really good.
It's great. It's great. It's just, yeah. I personally, I don't think a lot of people would be able to tell between if you heard an amp tone that came from, say, like a pod, or if you heard a Dumble mic'd up or whatever. It's and I think loads of people like to think that they can hear the difference between all these sort of things, and yes, you can feel the difference and all that, but I'm not sure you can actually hear the difference over on an album, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keith, he said, Spencer Carter, my new personal view, not worth upgrading in general, but as a product cycle improvement, it looks good. There we go. There's Keith's opinion on that. James, it's great on the beach. Good evening to you and Paul, and Lee. Cheers, Ned.
Yeah, he
Thanks,
does look good.
He looks great on that. I mean, I wish I
think he's not watching. He would have sent us a message by now to say, "Oi." No.
Should we go back? Maybe we should. We should actually show James again. There we go. I'll do it just in case anyone missed it at the beginning. James sent us a picture of himself on the beach. There he is, looking pretty good.
Looking chilled.
Yeah, he's proper gangster, James.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've had another. Hold on. Mr. Olson, thank you, sir. He said, hi, gents. Any chance you could flash the Pilgrim guitar across the screen? Well, as you've done a super chat, I think we've got to, haven't we? So, Dave, this is, I used this in the Katana video. I think I showed it last week. I'm sure I showed it last week. Yeah, I showed it last week, Dave. So, this is, Dave has started up a guitar company called Pilgrim Guitars. And I think that is a great shape.
This is actually David Olsen here on the screen.
Yes, Dave's come.
Wow. Nice.
Really nice guitar. Sounds great, plays great. So yeah, we're going to be doing some work in the future with Pilgrim.
That is my favourite kind of setup, the HSS, I must say.
Yeah,
so versatile.
So this is a I think it's a maple cap over English ash.
Nice.
So it's got some weight to it, and I like the way that, you know, like the Silver Sky, it's exposed at the back. You haven't got the screw holes, and there's no, because I'm always around with that. And if you look at his inlays, just a really nice job. So well done, Dave. Stick it there. Hopefully the dog won't knock it over. Don't knock it over. Here he is. He's wait.
Yeah, he's well stretched out there, isn't he?
He's stretched out. He's chilled. Now where did we get to? Sorry guys, I'm not very good at Al. He says, "Evening gents, how's life? All good, Al? Hope you're well too."
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Kevin, he said, "Hi guys, watching from Melbourne. Welcome, mate. What time is it over there? It must be pretty early."
Yeah, I guess about 8:30 in the morning. I guess.
No, I think it's earlier than that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think that's I think we're talking sort of 5-ish or something. Thomas, he said, "Hi, watching from BC, Canada."
Is that British Columbia?
I think it is, yeah. There we go. And this one's next. Grungy Chris, he said, "Hello, rats, and hope all is well. Will you be doing a deep dive videos on creating patches on the Katana Gen 3? Funny enough, Grungy Chris, there's a video coming out tomorrow. Excellent. on the push tone. So yes, and this isn't a sponsor video at all. So which is nice. Well, it's not nice because I don't get paid for it, but. Shahar, he says, "Lee, if you're in the market for a studio amp, I suggest go the Synergy route. Very flexible and extensible." That's a good option, actually. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the modules and stuff. Yeah. Do you know what sparked my interest in this is when I asked you guys a question about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said, "What can I use to sort of excite up my tone? What can I do?" And there was me thinking that I needed maybe some kind of mic preamp or some kind of fancy graphic or something. And the first thing you said was, "Get an amp."
Yeah.
And that was it, really. You didn't offer any kind of, oh, yeah, you could do this, you could do that. You just said, no, get an amp. Because I'm kind of thinking, it's definitely that combination of the preamp and the power amp section in a proper valve amp that gives you, that inspiration and that tone and that feel, and, everything else that goes with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's nothing better than a pushed amp, than the feel of a pushed amp, especially the power stage being pushed.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Synergy does that, does it? Because it's still digital, isn't it?
No, it's not digital. It's all analog. It's all analog. So yeah, so with the Synergy, you've got you can either buy the preamp modules. So like you can buy if you want to go and get the Bogner or the Soldano or the Friedman's or whatever.
B100, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So that's great. So from that point of view, for you, that's brilliant because you can go, well, because you like the chase as well, don't you? You enjoy finding new things.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Shahar's right. Maybe that is a good option. I think. Well, let's talk about this now because I think there's a couple of options.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to you the Rev G20.
Yeah.
Which is, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because now amps are coming out with IR capability built into the amp. So you've got Rev have done it, Engel have done it, which is another option for you.
Okay, yeah.
Because Engel being considered quite a high gain sort of amp.
Yeah.
So you might like that. Rev do it. I'm trying to think of other companies that are incorporating IRs built into their amps. There are other ones as well.
Well,
Laney do it as well, but to be honest, with the I think it's called the Studio LA.
yeah, no, I wasn't.
We didn't like it.
Because Victory do it, don't they, with their pedal platform amps? But the power section is not. It's solid state. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
it's not a valve power section. It's a valve preset, but not power.
Well, so that's your option. So you either go, get something like a load box. So you're driving.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd need a load box, and to get the right tone out of the amp, you need to be driving that power section.
Yeah.
So you either get one with a load box built in, or you.
Shall I tell you what I'm currently thinking at the moment?
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, go.
And it's gonna sound like a complete shift away. I mean, I've done a complete shift away from my usual thing with guitars recently, where I've gone from Jets to Sirs. but this is going to sound like another complete 180 shift. I'm actually thinking about a Victory Kraken.
Ooh,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, because they've just brought out the Mark II.
So are you thinking about a Mark II?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good shout. That's high gain. It's articulate.
Yeah, and something like a 2-notes capture to go with it.
Yeah.
The little dome-shaped load box thing.
Have you got any contacts at Victory? That
I have, yeah. I've had Victory gear in the past, so yeah, I should be able to get a good deal. Yeah, that's my current thinking. I mean, because I really do like Friedman stuff as well, but I'm just kind of thinking that the Kraken and the BE100 are probably kind of, they're both high gain fire breathers, aren't they? And to buy a Friedman is massive money, isn't it? If you were to go and buy a proper, fully juiced up Friedman amp, because obviously it's shipped from the USA for a start, isn't it? Right? So
yeah. I mean, a lot of the smaller Friedmans, they still do the high gain stuff, like the maybe the Pink Taco wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I did look at the Pink Taco, but then I thought, well, I'd probably just want to shove a drive in front of it to get what I need out of it. But the Kraken on Channel 2 sounds absolutely, just correct, right for me. I'm thinking I'd have to go and try it. I think I have to go and try it somewhere first.
But you should try it. If you're going to try it, you should try it with a load box.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe what we should do is to have a chat with Victory and see if they can send one over for review.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll do that. Let's have a chat. We'll have a chat later and see if we can get that sorted. But yeah, I think, I mean, if when you buy like a signature piece of gear, something like a Kraken, which is obviously Rabear's, obviously then you can play like Rabear. That's what.
Yeah, well, I need to get my hair like his for a start. So
yeah, I'd like that as well. Where are we? Thomas, he says, I've ordered the Katana Go in March. Now it's been discontinued. Bummer. I have to crank my artist to get it out the system. Oh no.
Yeah, they've run out of parts, haven't they? Or they've run into a snag with parts, so they're going to have to redesign it, from what I understand, to fit in a new compatible part, one that they can easily get more hold of more easily. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. They've actually withdrawn it from their website and everything. So,
but there's quite a few still available in the UK.
Yeah, there's still a few in stock. It just depends. Is Thomas in the UK? Or
I don't know where Thomas is actually.
Yeah, he might be messaging from a country that's maybe run out. I don't know, but if you've got an artist, that should keep you going for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Pet, he said, what advice would you give to a novice guitarist who wants to achieve great tone? I'm going to pass this over to Lee.
Listen to your heroes. Watch your heroes. What do they do? Novice guitarists always tend to turn the gain up too much. This is coming from someone that's complained recently about not enough gain. But no, they do, honestly. Novice guitarists. I was the same. Paul, you were probably the same as well when you were a teenager. first took up guitar. You use far too much gain. You scoop out far too many mids because it sounds absolutely brilliant in your bedroom, but it just doesn't translate to the stage. So yeah, think about the kind of guitarists that you really like to watch and listen to, whether it be Brian May, Mark Knopfler, or maybe someone from a modern era like, I don't know, Revere, for instance. Not necessarily copy their gear, but look at what sort of sounds they're getting and what sort of gear they use to achieve their sounds, and that will maybe help you find your signature sound. And then the other thing to do is just play. Don't sit at home and wonder how things are done, wonder how gigs are played, or wonder how recording's done. Get out and do it. Get out and play with other people. Get out, go to jam nights, go out and play gigs, go out and do some writing and recording with other people. There's nothing better, absolutely nothing better in life.
Completely agree. I think also, I'll add to that about watching your heroes. Watch how your heroes attack the strings. Watch how they fret and stuff, because that's that to me is more of a difference than all the gear. If you watch, like, talk about Revere, watch the way he attacks the string. He's very precise, and the way he hits the strings is great.
Yeah, great player.
Yeah, he's a great player. Aaron, he said, I am looking forward to hanging out again. Oh, nice. Oh, there we go. We can get some German Cheesecake Factory.
Some German sausages.
Nice. So Aaron's obviously going over there to do do the acoustic.
Yeah, I was just about to say Aaron's more of an acoustic player, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he plays. Well, he definitely plays electric as well, but I think Aaron's more known for his acoustic stuff. So yes, I'll see you out there, then, mate.
Awesome.
Keith, Thomas, Ross, I nabbed one from Gack.
Is that Gack in Brighton?
Yeah, I reckon it must be Gack in Brighton. Maybe the K is been added by mistake. It's good. It's a good little unit.
Yeah, it does sound good. Yeah.
I lent it to you, didn't I?
You did. Yeah.
Grungy Chris, Jane's Addiction tickets are on sale this week. Dave Navarro is an underrated guitarist. Any thoughts on the band? Yeah, I think Dave Navarro is great. He's got a.
He was in the Chili Peppers for one album, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
One Hot Minute, is it? The One Hot Minute album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when they were going through different guitar players and stuff. He's great. And the thing about Jane's Addiction, I never liked the vocals.
No, I didn't either. No.
Not a massive fan.
There's some great song titles, though. There was a song of theirs called "Just Admit It, Ted."
Nice. Electric Hourworks. Chaz says, I was at a week-long Mix with the Masters session at La Fabrique with Chad Blake in France. Nice. As well as in the Italian Alps and 2 days in London. Well, there you go. Nice one. Thomas Ross, enjoy at Keith Milner.
Enjoy your Katana Gen.
Yeah, he said, Keith said, bummer, they're out of stock now. I pulled the trigger on last week's show. Hopefully they'll come back in stock soon. I see. So,
yeah, they're going to be out of stock for ages, I think.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, give us if you're enjoying this, give us a like. It makes a massive difference to
do likes, thumbs ups.
Yeah, thumbs up, because it does make a massive difference to how YouTube sort of treats the show and stuff and promotes it. Right. Chicago Tim, he says, thank you, Lee.
No worries.
Joe, he said, hello, enjoyed our call last Tuesday, Paul. Yes, Joe, it's great. Yeah, really enjoyable. Looking forward to the next. Just purchased a Sir PT15 IR. Curious how you like the stock IRs. That's really interesting. So Joe has got a ridiculous amp and guitar collection.
Nice.
Joe should come on one week and go through it, because and Joe's thinking of starting his own YouTube channel. Nice. Great guitar player, got loads of gear, and a lovely bloke. So, right, yeah. Talking about the PT15. I did not like the IRs that were in there.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like it. But luckily you can change them.
Yeah. What's in it? You know, are they Celestian ones or something?
It's all of Pete Thorne's ones. You know, like Pete Thorne gets an amazing. He gets an amazing tone every single time. Just shows you know, different people. You know, fingers and all that just sound different. I mean,
so what were they? Were they overly bright? Because I always think that Pete Thorne has got a really, really bright sound.
Yes, they were. For me, they were overly bright. Yeah. But yeah. But,
Sorry, my hay fever's kicking off.
So what is it? It's grass pollen. Grass pollen at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got because we live in the New Forest. We've got Catherine. And my wife suffers from grass pollen, so it's you know, why do we move to the New Forest?
Yeah, brilliant.
Gary, all good, thanks, chaps. I pulled the trigger on the wrong boogie. Oh, what's the wrong boogie?
What have you bought, Gaz?
He said,
Gaz is a master sort of blues player, really.
Yeah,
he's a Telecaster lover, and yeah, he bought. I seem to remember going round to see him once when he bought the Wilco telly. He just bought himself one of those Wilco tellies. Yeah, because the band I'm in, that he used to be in, they were very much a blues band when they started. So Gary was the ideal guitarist for that band. So what have you bought, Gaz? Boogie?
He said on the wrong boogie, Andersons are going to swap it for a Cali Tweed when they get stock. Can't wait. Okay.
Yeah, he's tried it, doesn't like it, and he's swapping it for something else. Yeah, Cali Tweed is much more up your street, Gaz, I would say.
I wonder what he's bought then.
Yeah,
Badland, or whatever it's called.
That would be Gucci signature model.
Yeah, boogies are. I really struggle with boogies.
Yeah, I borrowed one off a mate years ago, and it just took me forever to try and get a decent sound out of it. I gave up in the end.
Oh God, such hard work. Because that's what happens. You get a tone that you think is half decent. You go, oh, just do with a bit more bass. You turn the bass, and then everything changes, and then you've got to tweak everything else. It's just like, I don't know why they design like that. It's just a nightmare. But I guess versatile.
Yeah.
Where did we get to? Yes, we've done that one. Okay. Keith, word on the street, because I'm down with the kids, is that the Catalyst clean tones are really good, but the overdriven sounds a bit synthetic. There we go.
Interesting, really, when you consider that Line 6 modelers are held in such high esteem, like the Helix and the whole Helix range really is held in such high esteem. When they try and transfer it to an amp, perhaps it's not been done so well. Yeah,
when James and I were over in NAMM, Robbie, I can't remember Robbie's surname, who's the Line 6 demo. He uses the big floor Helix, and he got a great tone out of it. So I think it's just for me, and James will say this as well, is the IR section of the Helix is a little bit weird, because basically what they've done is they've modeled the amps. Apparently they've modeled the amps with the microphone right on the middle of the speaker cone. That's why they always sound a little bit too bright. And
right, interesting.
Maybe that's all changed now, but that's what it was. Miguel, he says, hi guys, I'm not a Les Paul guy, but yesterday I saw a Les Paul Classic Copper Top from 2003 and I love it. How are the quality of the Les Pauls from these years? 2003, I mean, I wouldn't worry about how the quality is. I think don't dismiss any of the Les Pauls. Just try all of them, because there's always bad ones and there's always good ones, and I don't think that's ever changed. I mean, there's Norlin era ones that they tended to be really heavy, or that's the cliche says, oh yeah, that's going to be heavy. But I played some and they've been great, and I played some and they've been unplayable. So yeah, don't dismiss everything. 2003, I'm sure it's great. If you loved it, it's great.
Yeah, that was the era of the studio, was it? Was that when the Les Paul Studio first came about?
No, the Les Paul Studio was before then.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not really up on my Les Pauls.
Yeah, I'd it took me ages to find Les Pauls that I actually like. Stuart, as someone who grew up in the 70s, listened to bands like Roxy Music, Bowie, and the New York Dolls, I'd be curious on whether you think Mick Ronson is up there with the great British guitarists. So Mick Ronson was Bowie, wasn't he? He did all
mainly Bowie's guitarist, yeah.
Did some great stuff with Bowie, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with his work, I must say. But
I think the thing about it's what we consider to be a great guitarist is often a bit skewed because we tend to think, your Steve Vais, your Joe Satriani's, your people that are gifted in doing stuff that other people can't do are the best guitar players. When really the best guitar players are the ones that play exactly the right part for the song.
Dave Gilmour,
perfect. Yeah, not an overly technical player, very sort of slow hand and all that sort of stuff, but plays the right notes, plays it with feel, and he just sounds brilliant. Yeah. Same with Mark Knopfler is exceptional, I think, but there's loads of great guitar players like that.
Yeah, it's those that find their definite signature sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you hear a song of theirs on the radio and you don't necessarily know who it is, but you can definitely tell that it's them when they're playing. I mean, someone like Brian May is a prime example.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Nice one, Stuart. He's
yep.
Same one, the same one, isn't it? Okay. Blue Sumlin, he said, Lee, any views on Line 6 Catalyst amps? This is funny. This is all Catalyst night.
Must be because that video came out. I mean, Anderton's put a video up, was it yesterday, with this Catalyst CX, whatever it is. I have to say, I didn't watch the video. So, no, I mean, I've not tried a Catalyst amp. I think really, I guess, when you're looking at that sort of amp, at that sort of price range, you've got obviously the Katana, you've got the Catalyst, and you've got the Black Star ID stuff. And they're all kind of about the same, I guess. I know that's a bit of a generalist thing to say, but, they're all sort of digital solid state kind of amps and all kind of similar kind of size. They offer the similar kind of features at a similar price. So, I mean, you could try all three side by side, and I can't say that you would necessarily hear a massive difference. It would just be down to preference, I think, really, of which one sounded good to you on the day. And these are the sorts of products which are everywhere. So you can easily go into any guitar store and try those side by side, I would say.
Yeah. Tim, he said, I think later tonight I'll send my pod through my Zoom MS50G and give it some better effects.
Do it.
Definitely do it. I used to really like
cheap gear or us.
Yeah. I used to really like the pod AC30 with tremolo. I think that was a great tone.
Yeah. What was the there was one called it was the Blackface.
Yeah.
That was a good one as well. I used to like that for clean tones. That was really nice.
Great, yeah. I get nostalgic. D-Mac, he says, hi guys, played a used 335 the other day. It was great. Good action, stayed in tune. I did notice the tail piece and the bridge were both decked down to the body. Would this be a concern for you? The tail piece should be decked down to the body, or it's decked down as far as possible to get the angle. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, if you look at mine. Let's do it at an angle. That's pretty much decked down because you want to get that angle from the strings up the to the Tunematic bridge. My Tunematic bridge isn't decked down, but no, that wouldn't bother me. No, I mean everything's adjustable nowadays anyway. But even if you had to lower it even more, you can always get someone to you can get a good luthier to file off a bit of the bridge and get it down a bit lower.
Yeah.
Where are we? Jeff, he says HSS is my favorite config these days.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
It is really versatile. Jahar, he said, make sure you groom if you're planning on playing that Pilgrim naked. Make sure you groom.
Is this something to do with James's picture?
No. I think. Lee, let me just stick this back. I'm a bit worried that I'll end up smacking it or something. There. Now I think Jahar means.
Oh right.
It's the springs in the back.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. You don't want to get anything trapped in those springs. Yeah, that's true.
No, definitely not. So look, lovely guitars, David Olson. Yes, go and check out Pilgrim guitars, guys. They're awesomes. Jeff says, what will the Pilgrim Lee Abraham signature model look like, and how will it differ from Paul's? Well, that's not my Pilgrim, by the way. That's just Lee left it. Dave left it around the other day. So
there's an interesting question, isn't it? Yes, I wonder what the Lee Abraham signature would look like.
What would you do?
I'm not asking for one at all.
What would you do though? What is your preference in things like, you know, neck choice and body wood, weight, all that sort of stuff, hardware? Yeah,
so I would go locking tuners, I would go steel frets, I would go tusk nut, I would go HSS configuration, not necessarily of high output humbucker, but sort of a medium flavour. 2-point trem. Yeah. I don't know about colour and finish. Probably something maybe sunbursty, if possible.
Sounds like what you've already got then.
Perfect guitar, isn't it?
It is. What about weight and stuff?
It would have to be reasonably light. Yeah, I mean, not heading towards sort of Les Paul kind of weights. That's kind of too heavy for me, really. What kind of weight is that one?
This one's quite weighty because it's grab it again. It's English ash. So
is that quite a dense wood then?
Well, Dave was saying that swamp ash is quite a light wood, but English ash is quite a heavy wood. It's got a maple top on it, which adds to the weight of it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's weighty for a Strat shaped guitar.
Yeah.
But you know, it's you know, another piece of wood which Dave will pick would be a nice light piece of wood. It's you know, some people love heavy guitars, some people like light guitars. Personally, I think more people like light guitars than heavy guitars.
Yeah, well, it depends if you've got to do a gig with it or not, doesn't it, really? If you're never going to do a gig with it, I don't suppose it matters too much. But, yeah, that's why I couldn't get on with those Sire guitars. You know, the Sire, Larry Colton?
Too heavy.
It almost weighs as much as my car. Imagine that hanging from your shoulder for 3 hours, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think the cheaper bits of wood tend to be... I could be wrong here, and Dave could possibly answer the question, and we'll get Dave on the show. But I think possibly the cheaper bits of the more expensive bits of wood that maybe luthiers use are probably the lightest bits that everyone's looking for guitar building.
Yeah.
Right. We now know how to. Oh, he's in. There you go. Owen, he says, power station, bring your 100-watt plexi to a line level.
Yeah.
Line level signal. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's off. He's enough. He's bored.
He's had a better offer.
Yeah, he's definitely better offers. Shahar, he said, Sir amps have IRs as well. Yes,
they do. The Sir amp is just so expensive in the UK. I mean, you know, it's a signature amp. It's made by a quality company, and it has to be shipped over from the UK. So it's subject to import charges once it gets over here. So it's just a massive cost.
I think the PT15, which is a 15-watt amp, I think it's about $3,000 in the UK.
That's a whole Sir guitar, that is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of money. Yeah. Pete Thornsig, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Harley Elkins, he said, Lee, regarding your search for ultra high gain, my Black Star Cub 40 is absolutely stunning.
I'm being stalked now. Harley's one of my good mates. Hello, mate. How you doing?
So what do you think What do you think of Harley's suggestion?
He's been going on about that Bad Monkey pedal for about the last 10 years.
Is he?
He loves that Bad Monkey pedal. Yes, I mean, I think some of the early all valve Black Star machines are really quite good. I remember the Black Star 1. That was their first amp that they released, wasn't it? The one.
Oh, okay.
That was a monster amp, really nice. Yeah.
Right.
And then they, of course, they diversified and went into all the HT stuff and the modelling stuff and the little ID cores and stuff. And I think they lost their way a bit. But certainly, if you can get some of those early Black Star models, like the Club Range is part of their early kind of designs. Yeah, they do sound really good. Yeah, and they're ideal workhorses for, Harley's a gigging lad, the same as me on the local circuit. Yeah, ideal for the sort of gigs that we both do, really.
Nice. Cyanide Junkie says, "Hello, gents. Question: Was there one guitar you couldn't wait to get your hands on, and when you finally did, you were crushed with disappointment for whatever reason? For me, it was an LTD EC1000. Lee?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with that Sire that I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
When they came out a couple of years ago, because they were, from a spec point of view, they're exactly what I wanted. They looked really good. The finishes were excellent. The build quality looked really good. Yeah, but just when it arrived, there were just a few niggling problems with it, and it, like I say, the weight, it just weighed too much. I actually had an aching shoulder after I gigged with it, and yeah, I just didn't kind of gel with it like I hoped I would. Yeah, so
I'm trying to think, there's anything that I've bought that I was disappointed with. Yeah, there was Exotic. Do you know the brand Exotic?
Yeah. Yes, I remember the guitar you bought. Yeah,
great looking guitar, and just like, build quality really good. It was just, like we talk about it all the time I talk about all the time about the locking tuners and the lack of the string tree, and it just the angle, the break angle from the nut down to the tuning pegs was all wrong on that guitar, and it weighed. It was really heavy.
The Sire had the same problem with the string tree.
Did it?
Yeah, totally.
It's just I don't know why companies do it. It's just string trees work. They work. Yeah. Just stick them on there.
Yeah.
And even my Pete Thorne had a little bit of that as well, and you had to work on it because that's got the the staggered tuners. Just string trees. Use string trees. Jeff Rock, lots of Krakens on reverb.
It's there. Okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah, that might be worth looking at. Are you looking? What one are you looking for?
Well, I was looking for the Mark II. I guess reverb is full of Mark Is.
Yeah, but are you looking for the
metal chassis? The metal chassis one.
The little lunchbox one.
Yeah.
Great. What's that? 40 watts, 20 watts?
Something like that. Is it maybe 50, 40 or 50? Yeah.
Really? God, that much.
Yeah. The jack was. I used to have the jack, or when it was called the Countess, the black one.
Yeah.
That was 42 watts. That one.
Oh wow. God, it's a lot of watts in a metal chassis.
I know. Yeah.
That must get hot.
Yes, yeah, it did used to get quite warm. I mean, it's covered in holes, isn't it? To try and keep it cool.
Yeah.
Looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. Harley, he said, "Damn it, 10 too soon." Also want to say hi, big hugs. Thank you, Harley. Cheers.
He's covering gigs for me while I'm on holiday, so I've got to be nice to him.
Is he?
He's our number one call for when I'm away on holiday. Yeah.
Nice. Shahar Bar says Kraken is a 5150 plus Marshall style Marshall type channel.
Yeah, channel 1 is the Marshall. Was it JVM? And channel 2 is the 51, or based on the 5150. Yeah, both amps were owned by Revere, and that's what they were copied. Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry. Nick Torres, he says, I can tell the difference between cheap and expensive guitars. However, I cannot tell the difference between amps. Say a deluxe and a hot rod sound like two different sounding clean amps. Please discuss. Yeah.
When you say I can tell the difference between cheap and expensive guitars, are you talking sound or feel in the hand? because I would say that those two things are massively different. You can definitely tell an expensive guitar in the hand. Lots of reasons why. You know, the quality of the trem action, any sprouting frets, the sharpness of the frets, just the overall action, the overall responsiveness of even when you strum a chord, you know, the kind of the spring back you get off. It's a very nerdy thing, but you know, the spring back of what you feel on the plectrum can be very different on a cheap guitar to an expensive guitar.
I think as well that's it's the more in-hand work. It's as opposed to machine work. It's the more sort of hands-on work that instrument's had, as opposed to that machine's done that bit, that's done, great, we'll just pass it on, as opposed to like a Fender custom shop. We get the rolled edges and that sort of stuff, and a lot more hands-on work.
And then the second part of your question there, when you say about you cannot tell the difference between amps, are we talking bedroom volume or are we talking gig? Because I could definitely tell a cheap amp from an expensive one at a gig. No question.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you're right. I think a deluxe and a hot rod, I guess a hot rod's sort of based on a deluxe, but the
very similar.
Hot rod's got a second. It's got that second channel. And the thing about the hot rod for me was that everyone tries them out and says, "Oh, it's got the overdrive channel is shit," but it's not. If you turn up a hot rod, they sound great.
Yeah.
As you're supposed to do with every tube amp.
Yeah.
They're designed to be driven hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God, James and James bought. I don't even know why he bought it. He bought that. Was it a Bugera? What's the Toeman? No, it wasn't Bugera. What's the Toeman? Sorry, no, the Behringer brand.
Yeah, that's Bugera. Yeah.
Right. So he bought the Bugera Infinium, I think it's called, and it was like a metal chassis.
Yeah.
Oh,
little 5 watt thing. Was it 5 watt?
No. This was.
Oh, was it about 25 then or something?
No, it's more than that. I think it was 50. It sounded awful.
They have a reputation for catching fire as well.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely awful sounding thing. And that was cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
Jeff, what do you mean? I now own a vintage Katana Go.
Yes. It's got a certain type of resistor in it, which is no longer. I'm making this up, but it contains a resistor which is no longer available. So it's got that certain sound. So you got one of the early ones. You got a family heirloom there.
There you go. That's what. I wonder if it will be worth more money because it's the discontinued ones. Joe, he says the Soldano Astro may be a consideration as well for you, Lee. Yes. Expensive though. The thing is, Joe, over here that's quite a lot of money. So the Astro has built-in IRs as well.
Right.
I tried one out in NAMM. I didn't like it, to be honest.
Okay.
It didn't do what I wanted. But there are loads of people raving about it. So it's what do I know?
Horses for courses.
Absolutely. Nick Torres said, "Why do we buy expensive amps when Coldplay perform with hot rods and DeVilles?" Really?
Well, they get them given, probably. That's the first thing.
Wow.
I don't suppose Johnny Buckland has ever bought any of his amps. Well, he may have done 25 years ago, but not now. But they don't play. They don't really play guitar music anymore, do they? They used to on the first album, but not anymore.
Yeah, they did used to. Yeah, it's funny when you're a band like Coldplay, who's you can pretty much afford anything you want because they were one of the biggest amps ever. Yeah. We should do the news at some point. Should we do the news now?
Yeah, go for it.
News, okay. Go share screen. Screen that one. Right. If I do this, is that working?
Yeah,
that works. Okay. So John Lennon, one of his guitars came up for sale.
Wow. Did it really?
frameless 12-string. It become one of the most expensive guitars to ever sell at auction. So, I mean, that's a bloody hell. That's a
now. Instantly, the thing I'd say about that, I mean, it's going to go to some, collector that doesn't necessarily play guitar but just buys expensive things. But the other thing about it is, you're never, ever, ever going to change the strings on that, are you? Just in case. Just in case they've still got John Lennon's sweat on them.
That's true. That is true. That is true. So, but not as expensive as Kurt Cobain's Martin D18, which sold for over 6 million in 2020. The Framus didn't quite reach the heights, but it sold for 2.857 million.
Yeah, it's still a staggering amount of money, isn't it? Really, for a guitar.
Bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely crazy amount of money. So the other news last week was, I'm sorry I couldn't talk about it, but it's one of those things that like we have to sign NDAs, so we can't talk about stuff until they come out, obviously. So if I say things that I try not to say, I don't know what's going on, but if I say moving on or something like that, then so the Gen 3's out. There's a video coming out tomorrow. It is absolutely awesome, and yes.
But it sounded great in your video, and you got a name check from John Cordy. Did you notice that?
Oh, thank you, John. No, I didn't.
When he said when he did his first, because he did say about how he wasn't involved with Boss on the launch of this, but he bought one anyway, and he had one shipped in the next day after release.
Oh, great!
And he said, if you want to check out some really fantastic tones, go and watch the Studio Rats video.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, John. Nice. Fender Cyclone is back.
Is it?
So, this is definitely not yours.
Did it need to be back by the look of it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a bit of a their sort of guitar.
Oh, that front pickup is doing my head in.
Yeah.
Why do they have to offset it like that?
Well, the guitar's offset, so maybe they're doing that to. Let's have a look.
Oh God, that looks awful. No.
It is a bit shit, isn't it?
The bridge is in the middle as well. I can't. No, there's too much back end.
There is too much back. That is a good point. There is too much back end.
No.
Yeah. So what are they? So at the moment, it's a Japanese limited run. But they are. Let's have a look. 550 quid.
Okay, well, reasonably affordable if that's your bag.
Yeah, reasonably affordable. What's this? Oh, so Fender have brought out this new purple.
Fender? No, it's Gibson.
Sorry, Gibson brought out this new purple. I apologise.
Yeah. Nice. I like the colour. Yeah, it's good.
Let's have a look. It's funny with 335s. I'm quite traditionalist. It's either got to be, cherry red or black.
Right.
I don't like the natural 335s, and the best 335 that I've ever seen is the drab. They call it drab olive green, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
That color is that looks so good in a 335. I mean
that looks quite nice. The Les Paul looks nice.
Yeah, it does. It does look nice. It does look nice. What are they?
Music Man did a colour similar to that a little while ago.
Did they?
Really good. Yeah. One of their Petrucci models, I think it was JP150 or something in that colour. Looked really good.
Nice. So 335 is 3.5. The SG Modern is 2.5, and the Les Paul Modern Studio, which is this one, is 2. So a Les Paul Studio now is $2,000.
Is it really?
Gee, that's a lot of dosh, isn't it? What's this? Oh yeah, you'd love this. That's your sort of thing, isn't it?
Steel Panther.
It is a bit Steel Panther, isn't it? So it says a spectacular homage to the golden age of shred. Kramer launches its latest wild custom graphics creations, and one of them plays tributes to a model that revolutionized the guitar world.
Excellent. So it's single pickup, Floyd Rose, all the things that life's too short for.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the. I guess what are they referring to, like Zach Wild with the. With
Yeah,
the
that's the Zach Wild kind of thing, isn't it? The target sort of circles like that. Yeah.
yeah.
And the
I
other
mean,
one is just Satchel from Steel Pat. Yeah, that's just Satchel, isn't it? Really?
a bit, isn't it? Thing is, like in the 80s or the early 90s, when I was playing guitar, but it was. I would have loved that. I would have thought, oh god, that's so good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now
Yeah.
I'm just no. I mean, you know, you were a glam metal fan, weren't you? So
Yeah, put on your Poison records. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. CC DeVille.
oh god,
Love it. Mick Mars.
yeah. So right next, this isn't very guitar-y, but it's a guitar brand.
Okay.
So you know, a guitar-y brand has decided that they're going to go down the Fender and the Gibson route and become a lifestyle brand.
I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all.
I'm not into it at all. I think it's. I mean, if you're the brand, you can understand it, but it feels a bit sellout, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you just know that they're not necessarily putting any of their own ideas or technology into that. They've just bought it.
Exactly.
And it's licensed to Orange, but it's built by another manufacturer. And
exactly.
it's the same with when Marshall started to bring out headphones and Bluetooth speakers and fridges and things. And you just think, no, you're an amp builder. Build amps.
Yeah, be cool. Yeah, you wouldn't get Friedman doing that, would you?
No.
Well,
we hope not. Dave, if you're watching, don't do this.
Don't do this. So yeah, they're not cheap. They're not cheap, but they're not. I mean, you know, for monitors, they're about £800. So they're not cheap, but they're you know, yes, you can guarantee it's probably made in the Far East. And
I guess maybe the only slight connection you've got there is the guy who works at Orange. Is it Aid Elmsley?
Yeah.
So he's big into mastering, isn't he? Because he's mastered albums for Iron Maiden.
Has he?
Yeah. So maybe that's where the connection is. So this might be an Aid Elmsley vanity project or something possible.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's where the connection might be.
Okay. So yes, that's that, and that's the end of news.
Nice.
Cool. So what did we get to?
Yeah, Coldplay.
Coldplay. Yeah. He said, Mr. Big are playing a few gigs in the UK, and the tickets are pretty reasonable. I saw them at Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, and they were good. Very tempted. Your mate's playing drums, isn't he?
Yeah, this is NDV's on drums. Yeah. Great drummer. Yeah, go and see them. I mean, I think this is basically their farewell jaunt around the globe, isn't it? I don't think they're going to be doing much after this. Yeah, grab a ticket while you can, I guess. Yeah.
Great band. Dave, let's have a look at Dave. Looking good, Dave.
He's been on the Ket.
Changes every week. He's got loads of different looks. I just I love the way he changes
Man
himself.
of all seasons.
Oh yeah. Dave, he says, I'm playing a few songs with a friend this weekend and I want to take a minimal setup, Tonex with an overdrive. What's the best way to run through an amp and also direct cheers? So if your amp's got an effects loop, go into your amp. I would recommend. It's going to be difficult because if you want to go direct, you can't go direct and into an amp at the same time.
No, you can't turn the cab off, can you, on one side? Tonex is left and right out, but don't think you can specify cab off on one side.
No, it's through both sides. You could do something like that with a Core Cortex or an Axe-Fx. What I would do if there's monitors on the stage, you've got a monitor engineer, or if the guy doing the front of house is doing monitors as well, I would just put Tonex through the monitor.
Yeah.
Or get yourself an FRFR speaker, which is like a PA speaker, and run it into that, which would basically be the same sort of sound that you're getting out of the front of house. Best of luck with it. I hope the gig goes well, Dave. Ned, he said, I'm just checking other messages. We haven't missed anything. No, good. He said, Dave Navarro rules. Jane's Addiction are amazing. One of the best bands I've ever seen live. I get the vocals are a turn off for some. Ted, just admit it, is about the serial killer Ted Bundy.
Interesting.
Didn't Ted Bundy didn't deny it, is he? He's not denying anything, is he? As far as I know, he was.
I don't know anything about the guy.
I was well into. I used to go on tour when we were on tour with the band that I was in. I turned up on a tour bus, and there was someone had left a serial killer book in the in the van. So I was just reading that the whole tour, and it was absolutely fascinating. It was talking about Ted Bundy and Richard Ramirez, all the sort of big American sort of serial killers, and it was really interesting and quite dark. Joe, he said, I would love to.
Nice. Come on the show, talk about his amps.
Yes, that was it. Yes, we'll definitely do that, Joe. Keith, don't blame it on the boogie. Absolutely.
Blame it on the sunlight. No, was it? Blame it on the sunshine. Blame it on the something or other. Good times.
Moonlight, and then blame it on the boogie.
Not up on my 70s disco.
Yes, spot on. Badland 25. No, that is not a blues amp. Far too aggressive for me. Cali Tweed will do the trick. Nice and simple. Nice, mate.
Yeah, go for it, Gaz.
Yeah, the Badland, that's based on a rectifier, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But that's got, I tell you what, that's got IR outs, I think.
That's it. Oh, yeah, but it's got that horrible cab clone thing, isn't it?
Right. So this is what happened. Mesa Boogie now, they don't admit it, but it's basically 2 notes technology inside Mesa Boogies now.
Oh, okay.
So even though it was, it said it was like Mesa Boogie's thing. It wasn't. It was 2 notes. It was all hush hush.
What, that old cab clone stuff? That was all 2
notes? No, I don't think the old cab clone was, but the ones they did after that, the stuff that's in the Badland stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Joe, too much gear comes out nowadays. Impossible to keep up. Yeah, there is. It's a lot of gear, but unfortunately, it's people like Lee and myself who are.
Yeah, if you're into it, we love it.
Fueling the fire.
Yeah.
Jeff, how is the 10? Good question. How's the 10K step challenge going, Lee?
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty much hitting it every day. I did 20 miles on the bike today as well. So, yeah, getting there. And I've cut out sugar from my diet. That's almost 2 weeks now. So,
how do you feel with the lack of sugar? Did you get the old shakes?
No, not too bad. No, it's after your evening meal. When you kind of think I could do with something sweet now, which is why I had before the show. I had a hot chocolate. So that's a kind of a substitute, really. So
you should. What I do after an evening meal is like 90% dark chocolate.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
it's great.
If I could stand to eat it.
I've even got some in my pocket that my wife gave me.
Nice. Look at that. Yeah.
Bit melted. I've got right. Nectaris, he said, have you ever tried a Cock Studio Tone 20? I don't think I've ever tried into any Cock amps.
No. Was he kind of like a bit of a Dumble clone?
No, Cock is I think they're made in Holland.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a Dutch amp manufacturer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that also does the Greg Koch. Not related, but the same surname. He does the Gristle Tone, I think it's called, something like that.
Right.
Gary, Ronson was incredible. He also did some brilliant work with Ian Hunter. Played just the right parts for the song. I put him in the same league with Trower and Chris Spedding.
Robin Trower did some gigs recently, didn't he? Because I'm mates with Dave Ling, the journo on Facebook, and he went to see Robin Trower last night. 79 apparently, Robin Trower is. Yeah. Yeah. Dave said he was he described him as like, one of the last of the old English, first sort of guitar heroes, Robin Trower. Yeah.
Nice.
One of the oldest ones still around. Still doing it. I hope I'm still doing it at 79.
Do you?
If I'm alive.
Proven Hardcore. Mr. Budget will be pleased to know I've just ordered the new Harley Benton PRS looking hollow with stainless steel frets, flame top. The works for only 240. Damn.
Yeah, so a mate of mine who I'm live guitarist in a band called Cosmograph, and the main man of that is a guy called Robin Armstrong. Go and check out Cosmograph. Robin does some great work if you like prog. Robin swears by that Harley Benton PRS. Yeah, he loves it. He plays it all the time. We've done gigs with him, and that's his main guitar of choice. Yeah, great guitars.
Nice. Finger Blasting for Dummies says, where's Jimbo? Jimbo is...
He's hanging with his homies.
Yeah, he's on holiday. It's a picture of him on holiday. There's him on the beach.
There he is. Fine figure of man.
Yeah, good looking boy, that. He's on holiday. Ben says, Joe, couldn't agree more. It never ends. It does never end. But then we don't want it to end.
No. I mean, in terms of tone and feel and, all that kind of thing, a lot of people could argue we've now reached terminal velocity. But there's always improvements you could make to the features that these products carry and the size and the weight and, to make gigging more convenient, especially if you're going overseas. There's still lots to do. There's still lots to do.
Yeah, there is lots to do. And second, he said, Shagger says the second-hand market is being flooded more and more by the day. What size of landfill is going to be required for it all to go into the next decade or two? It is very true. There is.
But it doesn't just stop with guitar gear, does it? I mean, people
collect
all sorts of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Cars.
I mean, I'm as guilty as the next person. Years ago, we used to buy a new car every 2 years. I mean, what madness was that? I mean, we don't do it anymore, but we used to. Crazy.
Keith, regarding weight, my Revstar standard feels really heavy. Yeah, I mean, Yamaha's, because the Revstar, I guess, was based on the Yamaha SG, and they were known for being heavy. I felt some Revstars that weren't heavy, and I felt some that were, absolute bricks. Ben, I was looking at a master built Jaguar in all rosewood the other day. Amazing, but at almost £10. Doesn't bother me so much, but if you ever tried to sell it, not sure how you'd fare. I would stick well away from that. Yeah, I think rosewood body, rosewood neck guitars, like solid rosewood neck, solid rosewood body guitars. I've never played one that sounded good.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, to me, rosewood should be a fingerboard material, and lovely bit of wood though. Nice bit of furniture. Keith, you just weighed it, 8.6 pounds. See, that 8.6 pounds is Les Paul weight.
Yeah,
that's not a heavy Les Paul as well. That is. I would say that was light to medium on a Les Paul. So yeah, not overly heavy. Keith, weirdly, it's lighter than my GNL Legacy Tribute at 8.7, even though that doesn't feel heavy to me. Oh, that's interesting.
What? Wearing it around your neck on a strap, that doesn't feel heavy.
I'm all right. I mean, I can do gigs with my newer Les Paul is 8.5, and my gold top is it's about the same sort of weight, to be honest. I can pretty much do. I'll be happy doing a gig with them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get used to these things, don't you? I mean, definitely my Harley Benton is the lightest guitar that I've got. That's really light. The Sir is probably the heaviest, I'd say.
Yeah, your Sir, it's not overly heavy, but it's definitely got some weight to it.
Yeah.
Joe, he says Roasted Swamp Ash and Palowina are two great woods for guitars that are very light. Absolutely. Yeah, that Palowina is really light. It's really, really, really light. But that's the one that is supposed to be very toxic, isn't it, when they're sanding it?
Oh, really?
I think so. I think it's that one. I think I had that conversation with Joe as well. Joe's got a couple of Sirs that are Palowina. Yeah, I'd really like Palowina as well. Holly, I can't help it. I love the Bad Monkey. Gary Moore can't be wrong, or could he? Did Gary Moore use a Bad Monkey?
I don't know. Possibly.
No, he never used a Bad Monkey, did he?
Oh, Holly's going to tell us now.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, you know. Des, thoughts on Rabeer's new band? I haven't heard it, actually. I mean, I tend not to be into the music because I think Rabeer tends to be into the sort of metal prog sort of stuff that I'm definitely not into. Lee, I'm sure likes it.
Yeah, I liked his previous band, Tosca. They were an instrumental band. So I think his new band is very similar to Tosca, but with vocals now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be interested to check it out when they come along, when they release something. It's quite interesting that some of these YouTube guitarists, when they form bands, how they how their sort of career progresses. Because there was a guy who does Ryan Fluff,
Yeah,
Beards and Gear.
Mhm.
He had a band, and they started to go out on tour and started to get really successful. And then all of a sudden he came back and he came back from a tour and did a video where he basically said the band imploded on tour. And he said, "Oh, I won't be doing that anymore." But then they tend to go back to it because, again, Rabeer during lockdown, I think Rabeer said, because that's when Tosca split up, and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to do bands anymore." And now he's doing a band again. So yeah, they seem to flip between doing a band and not doing a band quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Harley's just messaged me now. There's going to be some link with Gary Moore here, isn't there?
I'm sure Gary Moore had one.
Yeah, it was available to buy through those guitar auctions.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Gary Moore's Bad Monkey listed.
Yeah, but whether he actually used it on any.
Yeah, did he use it? Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, my Sir is Palowina. It's about 6 pounds 8 ounces. Nice. That's
a nice weight. Yeah.
It's a joy to stand and play. Also, my new best friend is a rug to stand on. Budget version of Clapton's Persian rug, hand bought from Dunelm. Awesome.
Nice.
Why did he do that? Why did Clapton?
Yeah, don't know. Maybe he had expensive shoes and he didn't want to get them scuffed up on cheap stages. I don't know.
There we go.
Bonamassa does the same, doesn't he? He puts a rug down as well.
I think he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, coming up. No, we just going up there. Okay. He wants to get in. Yeah, he can get in. He said, Tim, he says, he's gone again. Question, Paul, with all the new amp sim software these days, do you still think Scuffum is the way to go? Yeah, I think Scuffum's great. I think I'm not into. I tend not to review amp sim software.
Yeah, you did that two notes one recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I get offered like literally every month. I get a couple of companies contacting me about doing their latest version of the software and stuff, and I tend to say no to it unless it's something that's different, like the two note stuff.
Software can be a bit sort of. I always feel the sounds. I mean, I bought one of the Neural plugins. I bought the Pliny one, which sounds great and it sounds amazing, but it's a very disappointing experience when you use them from a tactile point of view, because there's nothing to grab hold of and change. There's nothing more soul destroying than having to grab a mouse to turn your gain up and down, or
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why I'm edging towards getting a real amp for the studio, because I mean, for recording recently, I have been using this, and it sounds fantastic, and this is what I'm using live now. But live, even, you build your presets and they just kind of set and forget, and I use them every gig. So there's nothing even really to adjust there. But, when you're recording, it's a bit of a different story. You kind of adjust things all the time, really. And doing it in a plug-in just feels a little bit. It's always a bit of a disappointment for me.
I just find it, the feel of it is a bit of a disappointment. Always a bit of disappointment. But yes, if I had to choose one, I think Scuffum is brilliant.
All the neural stuff. The neural stuff is great. And if you wait till Black Friday, they usually end up almost giving them away. I think I picked up the Plenty plugin for 40 quid, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like they did the Tone King. I thought that sounded good. Keith, I have a Bulgara in Infinium G5. Sounds pretty good, but it doesn't go loud.
That's it.
I don't know which one James had. James had the.
I think the Infinium one was the black, looked like the old Black Star ones. I think they were built in the same factory. I think. I'm just trying to think because James had the silver caged one, didn't he? Basically, I'm trying to think.
He had two of them because we thought we thought the first one was faulty and it was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember your videos now. Yeah.
Awful sound.
Not endorsed by the Studio Rats.
No. Alex, hello, mate. He said, "Evening, Rats. Hope you're well, and you, mate."
Evening all.
Well, loud enough for home use, but not much else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anthony, the highest gain amp I ever had was a VHT Ultra Lead. Showed every mistake you made, lol, but a great amp.
I've not heard of that. VHT?
Yeah, VHT. Yeah, VHT made the Pitbull, didn't they?
Oh, okay.
Which is quite classic, classic high gain. VHT, I mean, actually, I think VHT make a Dumble clone now.
Actually, yeah, thinking about it, maybe I have seen the name around. Yeah.
Yeah. Death of the Chocolate Clock. That's a good. How do you find the balance between editing recordings to compete with modern productions without sucking humanity out of imperfections? See, I my job was a pop producer, so everything had to be precise and edited to within an inch of its life. So personally, it doesn't bother me. Lee?
I always like to work to one particular rule, and that rule is that all the technology at your fingertips with recording now can make a good performance brilliant, but it can't make a bad performance good. So get the good performance first, concentrate on that, because at the end of the day, that's supposed to be what we're doing as musicians, is getting good performances.
Yeah.
So, if you feel that good performance needs an extra help, that's what the technology is there for. But don't think that the technology will turn a bad performance into a good one, because then that's when you're on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, completely. Baroque Blues says, Paul, have you tried the new Katana Artist generation?
Oh, have you, Paul? Have you tried it? Don't know whether you have you?
It's not out yet, is it?
Oh, the artist. I was sorry, missed out that vital word there. No, I don't think it's out, is it? They've only released the 50 and the 100 at the moment, haven't they?
Yeah, so I'm booked in to do all of the amps as they come out. So we've got, I think, I could be wrong, maybe the 2x12 or the head coming out next.
Nice.
And then the artist and the artist head, whatever. But no, so they've all been announced, but they haven't been released yet. I think the only ones that have actually been released is the 100 and the 50. Maybe the 50 EX is coming out next. I can't remember anyway. But no, I haven't tried that one yet. I know it's got this new feature on it called Bloom. Yeah. Which I'm quite excited about trying. Death of Chocolate Clock. It would be weird if Coldplay used boutique amps. That market is for people with more money and or talent than commercial appeal. No, you look at people like Joe Bonamassa, who uses very boutique amps, and to me, Joe Bonamassa is one of the greatest guitar players ever. Yeah. Aaron Short, he says, I have a Mark 7. Wow. And have been very happy with it. Sounds great with the combos cab and the extension cab, and also great direct. I don't know why they seem so underrated. Probably the price. Yeah, I just think they're too fit. They're fiddly, aren't they? I had a Mark 4 for a while. I had a Mark 5 25 that I hated. Yeah. I'm not a
Well,
massive.
the price would, if Aaron's in America, the price wouldn't be too bad in America for a Boogie. But...
No, and the new Mark 7 is supposed to be great. Keith said, by the look of Paul's adverts, he's into Tesco's pasta and whiskey investing. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, things come up like that for me. I don't know why. No, I'm not into either. Tesco or Tesco. No, I'm not. No, we don't get our stuff from Tesco's. Death of Chocolate Clock. Keith Milner better than ladies' underwear. Well, yeah, I'm more into that.
Only just though.
Keith said Death Chocolate or ladies in your area ones. Jeff, in just a few words, what does Katana Gen 3 have that would make someone upgrade their current Katana or revisit the brand if they've been there and done that? That's a good question. Well, the push tone, which is a massive thing for me.
I think the bloom feature, when you finally get to try it,
yeah,
it's supposed to be a real good take on power amp tone, isn't it?
But yeah, and what's the other feature? The
stereo outs.
Yeah, the stereo headphone out, which it didn't have before. Yes, it always had stereo and USB, but stereo headphone out, I think, is a massive thing. Yeah, I mean, it's been rebuilt. It's not the same Katana. It sounds awesome.
But so, people are probably approaching it slightly wrong. I mean, it could be one of those things where, you know, rather than chasing every single version of an amp, maybe if you were Katana Generation 1, maybe this would be the time to make a jump and go 3. If you had 2, Generation 2, just keep it for a little while longer. And I'm sure that Generation 4 will be out in however many years, and you could maybe hang on for that.
I think so. So how long has 2 has been out? Probably for 4 or 5 years now.
Right. Okay. Well, if you've just bought a Generation 2, you know, 4 years is not too long to wait for another. Don't know. It depends on your point of view, really. But if you were that worried about, you know, oh, I'm constantly having to upgrade. Well, you're not having to constantly upgrade. You can just keep what you've got. But maybe kind of make a promise to yourself that you'll only go for every other one.
Good shout. Keith said one word, nothing. I disagree with that.
Keith's a bit of a Katana hater here, isn't he?
He said for upgrade, I just see it as the next version of the range. No need to upgrade, but still worth getting if you need that sort of amp.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that the push tone that makes all the difference. That is,
yeah.
You know, it isn't. Yes, it's still got that sort of lifeless clean, if that's what you want. It's not a lifeless clean, but it's still got that sort of generic clean sort of sound that you get. But now it's got the push tone, which is brilliant.
And you can always, you know, if you had a Generation 2 and you wanted a 3, you could always sell your 2.
Absolutely.
And get some half decent money for it, and then it wouldn't cost you that much to upgrade to a Gen 3.
Ain't no lie. Jeff Rock, that Lennon guitar, imagine.
Well, he's not going to be spending any of that 2.7 million, is he?
That's true. And Yoko. Keith, Lee, Nick, Nick Dees was awesome, but Paul Gilbert is no slouch on skins. That's true.
Really? He plays drums as well, does he, Gilbert?
Does he?
Yeah, so it implies there. Yeah.
Hey, man. Chris, how did Paul and Lee? Greetings from Nashville. Greetings, Chris.
How's Nashville? I was there in 2019. Great.
Well, yeah. I've never been.
Yeah, fantastic. Really good.
Keith, I've got a BM and I think it's awesome. There we go. They're chatting amongst themselves. Okay, Death of the Chocolate Clock. Regarding the Tonex live setup, couldn't you just go overdrive pedal into a tuner with 2 outputs? One output to the amp, one to Tonex.
Well, you could, as long as the amp was a similar kind of tone as you were getting from the Tonex.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
if your amp was clean, if you wanted a distorted sound that you got from your Tonex, and the amp only had clean sounds in it, then that would sound a bit odd.
Yeah,
I can't see why you'd use a Tonex and an amp at the same time anyway, really. If you're on a big stage, like you said earlier, you've got monitors on that stage, so just get them to pump the Tonex through the monitors. Job done. Don't worry about the amp.
I guess it's being able to control your monitor. I mean, how many times have you done gig when someone else has been, when it's had a monitor engineer and you're constantly looking at him and he's looking at someone else and you're doing this and he's just and he's looking at someone else going like that, and it's just all the time.
Yeah.
And you're waving your arm around, and it's
too many times.
Chris, Lee, I know you've played through a Line 6 Pod Express, but have you played through a Line 6 Catalyst? This has happened. We've had this question quite a few times today, haven't we?
Yeah. No, I haven't played a Catalyst amp, but as I said earlier, if you put a Katana, a Catalyst, and something like a Black Star ID next to each other, go to a shop, try out all three. I'm sure shops have got all of these amps because they're quite, standard sort of stock that most guitar shops have. I think it will probably just boil down to which one you like the sound of and which features it has that suits your need, really.
Death of Chocolate Clock. Does the Tonex have effects? I'm assuming it's that model again. No, it has reverb and
It's got a few effects in it. Yeah.
Finger blasting. Bad time for pulls there, Paul. Have you ever
I did think that. I've never tried a cock. Studio tone.
Alec Bourne, grilled cheese sandwich images at this hour. Have little pity boys. What? Grilled cheese.
It's smut of the highest order.
Grilled cheese sandwiches images at this hour. I'm confused.
Yeah, it's smut of the highest order. Don't worry, just glaze over it.
I'm so innocent that this is. Shahar says, Lee, turn on a light for fuck's sake.
I have. It's on now.
Okay. Great, well done. Pop? No, he's he said, hi Lee, would you be interested in a Bogner if it had more gain than a 101B?
I think the 101B had enough gain for me. It's a massive amp, isn't it? I mean,
they do a small one. They do the 35 watt or the 30 watt one, whichever it is.
Mendel's now going to say, if I say yes, he's going to say he's got one for sale now, isn't he?
Well, you'd have to get an Uberschall, and an Uberschall is a big amp again.
Yeah.
That's for like doom metal. That's for too much. Finger blasting. How did Fender manage to get tremolo and vibrato mixed up from day one? Steve Ball, hey guys, I'm finding my Helix and Power Cab setup uninspiring at the minute. I'm looking at getting an AC15 and an attenuator. Lots of people thinking about this. Is the Captor 16 ohm okay, or would the Captor X be better? Captor X would definitely be better. The Captor 16, I don't think they've got any other sort of effects in them. Well, the Captor X has like.
Well, you can load IRs into it, can't you? That's the point. The regular Captor has just got their analog speaker.
Yeah.
The fuzzy flat one. Whereas the Captor X, you could load IRs into it.
Can you actually load IRs or their own version?
I think you can load any because it's driven by the Wall of Sound software, I think.
Yeah, the Wall of Sound software is their type of processing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. Dave, he says, I was thinking of running into a direct box that has dual line outs, 1/4 inch and XLR. Thought of using Katana as my monitor. Only need to hear me. Yeah, the only thing about that is you're going to be running a speaker IR into a speaker, which is going to give you a very dark tone. See if you could borrow a.
Oh, unless you plug it in. Oh no, ignore me. Yeah, no, I was going to say about the power amp in, but
no, still the same.
Yeah,
you just do using the speaker. I mean, see if you can borrow a PA speaker.
Yeah.
Harley, GM certainly did use Bad Monkey on his pedal board. There we go. Awesome. I think it's one of the original Bad Monkeys too, as it's pretty heavy. Apparently, the new ones are a lighter enclosure.
Didn't they go up in price? Didn't Josh from the pedal JSH pedals say, "Oh, this is an amazing pedal. Everyone needs to buy one or something," and they went up temporarily. People were trying to sell them for like £5,000 or something silly.
Bonkers, yeah, absolutely bonkers, and then it all flopped again.
Yeah,
yeah, very funny. Yeah. Shahar says the guitarist for Goat Whore, Goat Whore, Sammy Duet uses Bad Monkey. Paul loves him some Goat Whore. I haven't heard of Goat Whore. I will go and check them out.
They'll be a bit like Flesh Rot, They'll be like those logo. The band logo is written in that really squiggly writing. You can never read it.
Yes, I know exactly. I can imagine that's exactly what it is. I will check out on Alexa as soon as. Damn, I said it now. It's all right. She's not going to go.
Use it to fall asleep to tonight.
Yeah. Tim says, "Thank you, Paul. I agree with Lee about the feel." Vinny's here. He says, "Hi guys, just checking in. Hi Vinny, hope you're doing well." Anthony, VHT now isn't the same VHT. VHT was Steve Fryette's amp company, which he sold before rebranding under his own name. VHT, the Ultra Lead and the Pitbull CL, Pitbull ST, and 45 Nice. Cheers for the Diggy.
He needs a walk.
Mum's gone out. Mum's gone out to go and pick up. Harrison's been our son's been on a school trip for a few days. Mum's gone to go and pick him up, and
right.
Diggy's not happy that she's gone. Paul McKinnon, Fitness and Nutrition, says, "Hi guys, I'm struggling to find a nice clean blue sound for my Epi 335. Currently have Alnico classic pickups. Shall I upgrade? Or what setting do you suggest on a Boss Mark II 100? Just seems so muddy." Yeah. I mean, 335s can be muddy. Epiphone 335s can be very muddy. You just want to go through some nice bright sort of pickups. You'll probably still find it muddy, to be honest.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Paul McKen, not Paul Drew, but Paul McKen. When was the last time you changed your strings? That could be. I mean, I've known people to not change their strings for a year. So,
wow. I mean, James has an Epi 335. I think it's really dark. When he's changed the pickups on that, I still think it's dark. It definitely sounds better. It's really hard to find a 335, Epi 335, which is what are they called? I can't remember the model name now. Sheraton. They are quite dark, and you can get Les Pauls that are really dark. Sorry, Gibson 335s that are really dark as well. You've got to keep hunting to find the right one. But yeah, if that's your guitar, I would just have a look at some bright sounding pickups. Now, I don't know a lot about pickup magnets and stuff. Sometimes I think the higher the number, the brighter the pickup. Like an Alnico 5 is brighter, I think, something like that. And the ceramic ones and all that. But go and have a chat with Stuart from Sun Bear Pickups. Someone that knows about pickups and knows about tone, and see what he would suggest. He's really good at answering emails, and he's got a website. Sunbearpickups.com, I think it is.
There you go.
Finger blasting for dummies. Paul, you just backed up that guy's point. Coldplay have way more commercial appeal than Joe Bonamassa, not talent, commercial appeal. It's unfortunate as that is. It's the world we live in. There we go. I like Coldplay. I think Coldplay have written some great tunes.
Yeah.
And what would you rather? Who would you rather be, Coldplay or Joe Bonamassa? Would you rather have? No, that's a stupid question.
From where I'm sitting, I'll quite happily be either.
Chris says Katana Gen 3 is AIRD, not COSM. So that's Boss's processing technology.
Could well be. Yeah.
Mr. Woodford, he's not gigging tonight. He says, "Hello, fellas. Just gotten in from a gig." Oh, he is gigging. Now it's Rats time. What did I miss? By the way, it looks like I have a Carol Ann head coming in ASAP. Oh, nice. Some amp this OD2R. OD2R. Is that the Carol Ann? Is that the only? Yeah, I saw one of those on eBay recently. Actually, don't know much about Caroline amps.
No, never heard of them.
Nice though, nice. But yeah, let us know who that is. David, one last question. I know you guys have contacts, but the amount of gear you flip, how do you send so much stuff back? I never buy new. So
I do, and I send it back if I don't like it.
Yeah, so Lee does, but Lee's not doing it for a. Yeah, so it's James and I mean, with amplifiers and stuff. I'll have an amplifier that comes in, we'll capture it, and I'll do a video on the amplifier, and then it will go out again. So with guitars is a bit different. I have a certain amount of guitars that fit on my wall, and if I need another guitar, one goes and that one comes in. So I tend not to ever spend any extra money than I've got on my walls. So I tend to sell, and then that money then goes to another guitar and stuff. So I tend not to. It might look like I'm buying guitars all the time, but one goes out and the other one comes in. Yeah. So don't think I've got millions of pounds, because I haven't. Ned, I just bought Katana Mark II a couple of months ago. I don't feel the need for Mark III, but Mark IV or Artist could be an upgrade in a few years. If I don't get the Fender hot rod to fill or something nice.
There you go. That's the right kind of attitude to have, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Blue says, Paul McCann, I had Gibson Custom Shop 339. The 59 Classics are muddy as well. Classic must mean muddy. Yeah. Jeff Cook, I think the grilled cheese sandwich was an ad on the page during the news.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right then. Perhaps I misinterpreted the previous comment.
More smut than a Friedman amp name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the next thing, isn't it? I mean, if Dave Friedman comes out with a grilled cheese sandwich pedal or whatever.
No, I don't know. I'm going to have a look at this grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, be careful. Make sure there's no one else in the room.
You coming up? Come and say hello? No? You're not shy, aren't you? My Uber Ultra is not for sale. Uber Ultra.
Good. You keep it.
Rummy says, thoughts on the Marshall JVM 50 for stock varieties band, for rock varieties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're playing rock music, that's what Marshalls are built for.
Yeah. Yeah. JVMs can be really good. Holly, when you start looking at high-end guitars like Music Man Sir PRS, do you think they become similar in materials and hardware that it almost becomes impossible to choose? No, I think
we did a video about this, didn't we? It's not out yet, though, is it?
No, yeah, that's true. Yes, yeah, we did a video on your Sir compared to my custom Masterbuilt Strat. No, I think especially, and the ones you're listing there are all very different guitars. Like Music Man, if you're a guitarist that likes, if you're a guitar player that has small hands, and this isn't on all Music Men, but majority of Music Man guitars, they have small necks, they're narrow and they're small. I don't really like the feel of Music Man guitars. Sir are like sort of perfected super strats, aren't they? And PRS are more on the sort of, I would say PRS are more on the Gibson sort of end, but similar materials and hardware. No, I even don't think with that. I mean, PRS and Music Man make their own hardware. Sir tends to use hardware from other manufacturers like Wilkinson and blah blah blah.
Yeah, Goto Trems.
Yeah,
they make their own pickups though, Sir, don't they?
They do. Yes, PRS make all their stuff, and Music Man I think does as well. Mendel, my Uber Ultra. There we go.
Yeah, we've done that.
Jens, he says you announced another getting the most out of my Tonex 1 video, but is this still happening? Yes, it will still happen. It's
That's
just
my fault. It's my fault because I had his pedal for about 3 months. No, I didn't have it. Maybe
so yeah, I've got the Tonex 1 back. So yes, I'll be getting on with that the next couple of weeks. David Brose saw a marquee for a band called Goblin Gog.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I remember all those band names from years ago. Liquor and Poker was another one.
Tim, yeah, I love my PV Classic 30 combo. Nice. Yeah, they loads of people use those, didn't they?
Yeah.
Rummy, Paul McKen, try an EQ pedal.
Yeah, you could.
Keith, Paul McKen, Re 335 and Katana. Have you tried this Guitar Sim H to S effect?
Humbucker to single effect, yeah.
Yeah, that might work. Or play with one of the EQs. Yeah, but once it's the initial tone that comes from the guitar. You can't change that. It will lack if you take something away, it will lack something else. I think the pickup is such an important thing. Paul says, I haven't changed the strings, Lee. I'll give it a try. Paul, I'll talk to Stuart. Thanks again. Yeah, try have a chat with Stu. He's really good. Willie says, Willie, as he always does.
Well done, Willie.
Dave Rose. David, cheers, mates. Right. Cheers, Keith and Minjam
Bracket. What a great band they were.
That's a great band name. More than that, we did. Do you know we didn't get to talk to? We'll run out of time. We didn't get to talk about your album. Can we do that at some point? Maybe we'll do that as a separate show.
Okay.
I think it'd be nice so everyone can sort of see the gear you're using for. Did you film any of the drum recording?
I didn't. No.
Oh, that's a shame.
No.
Yeah, no one wants to watch a drummer anyway.
Yeah, that's the boring stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely. Just a couple more, just to come in. Jeff says, "Don't forget like, subscribe. It really does help. Yeah, give us a like and subscribe. You wouldn't believe how much it actually helps." And Ben says, "Thanks for another great show, gents. Enjoy the rest of your evening." Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Ben.
So we'll be back. I don't know if James will be away. If James will be back, I think he's only away for a week. He'll be back with the usual sort of tomfoolery next week, and yes, we'll see everybody then. Lee, thanks again, mate, for joining us.
No worries. Anytime.
And being the oracle on guitar news.
No problem. Anytime.
Right. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Have a good week. And oh yeah, watch out for the video tomorrow for the Katana Gen 3 about the push tone. It's great. It's a great amp. I'll see everyone later. Take care. Bye bye.